So in this video, I'm going to talk specifically about some things that you can do for a nonfiction book. A lot of the things that I've been talking about in this course are the same for fiction and nonfiction. A lot of it's you focus on the keywords that people are searching for. You build your platform and your traffic and your email list with giveaways and content. But there are some specific things to keep in mind when you're doing nonfiction that are important. So I thought I'd make a short video just on extra tips for nonfiction writers. First, if you haven't written your book first, you want to start with the back cover or the introduction. So who is it for? What does it do? Why this book? And a chapter outline. Once you have a chapter outline, you really know what's going to be in the book. So you can finish the introduction. You can finish the back cover copy, which is the premise, like which benefits you're going to provide for readers. Why should readers get this book? And then you expand that into a chapter outline, and then you can just fill in the blanks. You go through and do each chapter and then do subheadings for the smaller sections inside the chapter, and then just keep going through until you've finished. It's a lot easier for a nonfiction book if you include more people. So if you include other people's stories, there's two major advantages to this. On the one hand, you want to have a lot of stories in your book. So if you have a topic, or if you have maybe 7 smaller topics in 7 chapters about a larger topic, and then you ask people in your field or your industry, bloggers, anybody with a platform or an audience, if you ask them to give you a short story or anecdote or quote or tip, something really, you want to make it really simple for them. But if you can include that material in your book, not only does it make your book a lot stronger because it's more interesting because you're including stories, but also you're giving them an incentive to share because you're basically just marketing them, promoting them, you're talking about them. That's an easy thing for them to share. So if you just had a book in their subject and you asked them to review it or read it or share it with their audience, they probably wouldn't. But if you include their quote, and then when you launch, you just say, hey, I launched, your quote is on page 28, thanks so much for being a part of this. It'll be free tomorrow if you want to share it. If you do it that way, a lot of the people you include in the book are going to share your book with their audience, which is a really good way to get a lot of free visibility. Basically, for a successful nonfiction book, you want to have a goal or the main concept, and then steps or principles, so break it down into chapters or subheadings, and then illustrative stories. So you want to have a lot of content and facts. That's important because nonfiction readers read for benefits. They buy to learn stuff most of the time. However, you'll lose their interest if you don't always have stories as well, because humans respond to stories. So if you just have a lot of facts and figures, you may not keep them reading, and the information may not stick in their minds. But if you have stories, there's more chance that they'll enjoy the book and that they'll remember things. A few more concepts to get into. With nonfiction, you have to think about whether you want this book to be lead gen or generate leads for your business or actually earn. You can have a book that gets found and has discoverability, which means it's basically branded by the keyword. So you use keywords in your title and your subtitle. You focus on the benefits and the content, but it may not be as good for branding your platform or yourself or your book, but it can be found more. So especially when you don't have a platform yet, I would say it's better to focus on discoverability and lead gen, because that will help you to get found faster and to start earning money faster. Whereas if you already have a big platform, then you can just focus on writing a book that's branded and starts earning really well. Any book can earn if you do everything right, but for nonfiction, it's generally more likely that a branded book, I'll show you an example of what I mean by a branded book. It's more likely a branded book will stick longer. It takes more work to make it actually succeed, but once it does, it's easier to get it to stick and to keep selling and to have a bigger reach. Also, many short specific books on long tail keywords may work better than one big concept book. So you don't want to just think about like your perfect book title that's really unique and interesting, because people aren't searching for your book title. So if you don't already have a big audience, it may be smarter to do a bunch of small topic-based books. Long tail keywords means a longer keyword. So instead of book marketing, it'd be like book marketing for dentists, or book marketing for teachers, or something like that, for a very specific thing. Book marketing for science fiction and fantasy writers. That's a smaller category. So if you have keywords that are a direct match to what people are searching for, there's a better chance that your book will show up right away. So here's an example of two books. This is what I would call a branded book. So this is Jeff Walker's Launch. A branded book, it's usually a 1 or 2 word title. It's really a simple title. Like, this could have been Launch a Business from Scratch, but it's not. It's just Launch. And then he has a really long keyword heavy subtitle with all the benefits. With benefits, you want like who this book is for, and that's an internet millionaire secret formula. That's the who and the what. And then the benefits are to sell almost anything to anyone online, build a business you love, live the life of your dreams. These are really vague benefits. These are the same benefits I've seen on like the 4-Hour Workweek, for example, are almost exactly the same. Tons of books use the same benefits, but these are still the benefits that everybody wants. Build a business online, live the life of your dreams, etc. This one is more of a keyword-based book title. So this is Online Business from Scratch. And this is very similar and a little more specific. Launch your own 7-figure business by creating and selling information online. The problem with this one, I think this cover is almost better. This cover is kind of really simple, but doesn't matter so much. Jeff Walker's really selling the dream. He's selling the benefits. So live the life of your dream, build a business you love. He's tapping into the emotion and the ultimate benefit. They don't actually want a business. Nobody wants a business. What they want is the freedom and the enjoyment of having control and having money and not needing to go to a job, etc. So this one, they're focusing on the keywords: launch your own 7-figure business, creating and selling information online. That's the exact stuff, but they don't hit any emotion keywords. They don't say, why should you build a 7-figure business? Why work that hard? They're not offering the benefit. So I think that's a mistake. But even so, this is a keyword branded cover. So when people are searching for online business or do business online, this book's going to show up right away because they have online business from scratch in the title. So this one in the beginning might be a little more visible than this one. So it's great if he is selling, for example, he might have a course. So if he gets found and sells some of these books and he transitions that into a course, right now this one's a bestseller because he's probably put it in a competitive or not competitive category, so it shows up. I didn't check which one's actually selling the most, but you can see this one has done much better. Not only is it a lot more expensive, but it's gotten tons of reviews. So if you have tons of reviews and you have a solid platform and you have a branded book, so you position yourself as a leader in the field. Like if you have a big enough platform, you can sell anything with any title. You don't need, to stuff keywords in your title because it's going to sell anyway. And you can show off that fact by having a really simple branded title. So even though this is like really the better, more professional book, if you're starting with zero, with no platform, it may be difficult to pull this off. So you might do it anyway just to position yourself as long as you have a back end. So if you have something else to sell besides the book, and you just want to position yourself as an expert, you could try to do it this way anyway. But you have to know what you're selling. And like if you just decide, I'm just going to price it $10 and have a non-branded, if you have a branded cover, the danger is that nobody's actually going to buy your book. So it doesn't matter if you publish a book that looks really good, but you don't have 1,000 reviews and it doesn't keep selling, so you're getting no visibility. In that case, it would have been better to have this one, which may not be, as professional, but it's getting found, it's working, people are actually reading it. And the other thing to keep in mind with nonfiction is that Amazon's always going to show up for long tail keywords as one of the first results. So this is just Jeff Goins just published a new book, which is Real Artists Don't Starve. So I just put it in Google by title, and you'll notice the first result isn't Jeff Goins' site, even though it's his book and he's done a lot of promotion. It's not all of the big blogs that he's been featured on or reviewed. It's Amazon. It comes up right away. So if you want to get ahead of any of your competition, rather than thinking of, a clever branded book that's going to build your platform, you could be getting more visibility, more traffic just by focusing on the keyword. So for example, if you do auto insurance or something like that, maybe you're selling auto insurance to companies, there's probably millions of blogs and websites talking about auto insurance, but there may not be very many books. So if you wrote a book like Auto Insurance for Dummies, when people search for auto insurance, there would be a good chance they would find your book in the first page of Google. So that's kind of like an easy hack to rank better than any of your competitors just by publishing a book. So it doesn't have to be, you don't have to think about making it the perfect book that has everything. It's probably easier to focus on a short, simple book that gets found. So that's why I said, like, even short books for specific keywords. You could have auto insurance for dentists, auto insurance for doctors, auto insurance for teachers, whatever. You could have a whole series of like 10 or 15,000 word books where you're just taking a lot of the same content and tweaking some information. So having lots of books on shorter topics may give you more visibility. That's something I might try. I'm going to have a course that's a 21-day author platform. And instead of writing one book to promote that course, I'm thinking about writing 21 little books for each of those highly specific long tail keyword topics, which is going to give me a ton of free visibility. So that's something that I'll probably test out in the next course. So I hope these tips help a little bit. But like I said, almost everything else is really the same for nonfiction and fiction. You can still do book giveaways. You're still going to create content that attracts your audience. That's why I think a lot of people say fiction is a lot harder, because for nonfiction, it seems like it's easier because you know exactly what people want, what they're searching for. You know your keywords and your categories. The challenging thing is there's going to be a lot more competition because there's already a lot of books. Probably there's already a lot of books in your space targeting the same keywords. And nonfiction authors tend to be more savvy about how to do online marketing in general, whereas most fiction authors don't. So there is, like, those are the main tips I would take away, is that maybe instead of focusing on one huge perfect brand book and that's your only piece of content, you always want to be thinking if you can have some shorter, even I just helped a client publish a book that's on one big topic, and rather than give that away for their lead gen on their website, they just took one very specific topic from their chapter. So they took out one chapter and they offered that as their freebie lead magnet on their website. And you could do that also. You could offer, like, what I would do personally is I would break my book up into sections and I would blog all of the sections. I would put the whole book up online because no one's really going to go through your entire website and read every article anyway. But if you put all of your book up online under different subheadings and different chapter titles, you would be able to find out really quickly which topic is the most valuable, what people are really searching to and responding to. And then at the end of every article, you would have a link to buy the full book. So you may have like 30 or 40 articles for your blog from your book that you're giving away for free, and then at the bottom you say go buy the book here. That's going to give you a lot of free traffic and content and organic traffic, but also you would be able to test what really is attractive to audiences. So then you could find out, like, maybe this particular subject gets all of my traffic. It's like half of my traffic for this one subject. Then I might think, well, I shouldn't have a full book on this topic. I should really have a new book on just the one topic that's really hot and getting me a lot of traffic right now. That's the easy way to test it, by just publishing it all on your blog and seeing, which one gets the most traffic. So that's something to keep in mind. Don't just think I'm going to just do this one book that I want to do and I'm just going to promote it really hard. You are in a really great position to test all of the pieces of content that you're making for your book. Don't think of your book as like one finished project. You can break it down and see which pieces of knowledge that you have to share are the most valuable, and then just focus on building more content for that piece. So maybe it's just a chapter in one book. Maybe you'll write another book about it, even if it's a shorter book, and then make an online course about it, make some YouTube videos about it. You can really hone down on what's actually popular.